Greetings and welcome to the Sprucey Kitchen. I'm your host, Spruce. Today we're going to be doing the first request for the Sprucey Kitchen from my man Cole. That's what I'll call him anyway. We're going to be doing meatloaf. It's a great suggestion. With a lot of fundamental skills, this dish can be adapted in any which way. Real classic. We're going to be doing the version I'm used to, kind of the one I grew up with, that I still make to this day. Definitely a fantastic dish. And we're going to get started right now. Alright, so what ingredients are we going to need? Obviously, we're going to need the meat. This is ground beef. I actually did this myself in the food processor, just short ribs from the beef chuck cut. If you can find a meatloaf mix wherever your grocery is, that's even better. That'd be beef, lamb, pork combined. Unfortunately, can't find that where I am, so just ground up the beef fresh myself. You need the binder, fine breadcrumbs. I go with the kind of store-bought fine cut ones. I do make homemade for this purpose. Go with the finer store-bought ones. Just an egg and some milk for seasoning, pepper, salt, some kind of tomato product. I like to use sauce or pre-made marinara from a previous recipe. You can use ketchup, that'd be fine. It's actually probably pretty traditional. I like to use a sauce though. And I like to use lots of oregano in my meatloaf. So it's just going to be done in a standard mixing bowl like this. I've already got the meat in here. I'm going to add the egg. Just a little bit of milk. You want to be pretty conservative on that. Kind of flip it down in there. Pretty good amount of breadcrumbs. A little bit of the sauce. Or ketchup. The salt, the pepper, and put the oregano. Now you're going to mix. The best tool for this is your hands. Yes, these are clean. I thank you for asking, and yours should be clean too before you begin doing this. But truly, hands are the best option for mixing up something like this. And you're going to need to adjust how much liquid and how much egg you have. You're probably not going to get it right in the first try. But be gentle, and you're just kind of combining everything. Looks like we're going to need more breadcrumbs. Alright, so now we've got pretty much the consistency you want. Remember, you don't want to squeeze the meat through your hand. You just want to kind of combine it. Now we've got it. This is kind of what you want. It's hard to describe, but this takes some practice. Basically, you want kind of firm and kind of a slightest bit of resistance when you try to pull it apart. This is that's going to roll up. You want it firm enough that it's going to roll up on itself. We're going to find out why that's important in just a second here. And this is where I think that my family's meatloaf recipe and other recipes I've seen like this really set themselves apart from other traditional meatloaf recipes. In that what I did was I took the meat mixture that we had and I spread it out over this nice long strip of tinfoil. Kind of a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch layer here. What we're going to do is we're going to layer it up with a bunch of really good stuff and roll it on up. So, first, plenty of cheese. Could be cheddar cheese. I got mozzarella cheese right here. Any kind of cheese you like. You get yourself a nice generous layer here. You don't want to skip on cheese. No one likes that. Everyone likes their cheese. Alright, that's looking pretty good right here. Put on a few edges. It's going to take about one package, 1 8-ounce package. Depending on how wide you made your layer. Next, I'm going to put down another kind of meat. Sometimes I've seen the meatloaf rolled up with a whole sausage in the middle. Right now we're going to do salami. That was always pretty common growing up. This is a nice thin sliced Genoa salami. Was putting it down like a pizza. And this is really versatile, like I said. You can put down whatever kind of cold cut you like. Any kinds of other meats you like. I know bacon's always popular. So you can put down bacon in your meatloaf if you want. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. But I like my Italian delicacies. So we're gonna go with salami tonight. Alright, all the salami's down. Finally, we're gonna layer in a green leafy vegetable. I got basil here. Also could use spinach. Also could just not bother with a vegetable at all. I just like it in there. And this is where the magic really happens. This is why you use that long strip of tinfoil. We're gonna roll this thing up into one big roll of goodness. So you just fold it and roll it in on stuff. You get kind of the first edge here. You see that? And just gently, slowly guide it over. And it's just going to start rolling in on itself. You can watch what you're doing right here. See how it's starting to go in? Keep going. You got enough tinfoil. If you make sure you put down long enough strips. It's always with the trick to see if everything's going alright and everything's going alright. Everything's going perfect. Look at that. Perfect roll. Now you just crimp the edges. Just seal it up. Get on that tinfoil. Make sure there are no big breaks or gaps. Since you're using ground meat, you can just kind of pat it back together, massage it, get it nice. And there you have what you're going to bake. So as you can see here, I've taken that loaf and the foil that was rolled on, and I've laid it down in this shallow baking dish right here, and I've laid down the rest of the mozzarella cheese I had on top. Now we're going to bake this, we're going to bake it covered at first to cook through, and then we're going to take the cover off, let it bake. Might even need to broil a little bit. We're going to make that top layer of cheese nice and brown and crunchy for a nice top layer onto this delicious loaf. So I preheated the oven to 375 degrees. That's where I typically bake the meatloaves at. And when it's all ready to go, so let's get it in there and get started. The meatloaf is in the oven. I'm going to leave it in there at 375 for about 20 minutes to check on it. It's probably going to take more like half an hour, maybe longer. But when it looks just about cooked through, I'm going to take the top tinfoil off that I used to cover it. And we're going to let the top layer cook, get brown and crunchy. Alright, the meatloaf is just finishing up in the oven. Here's one to show you the macaroni we did right here, the ditalini. Just use some butter and olive oil to keep them from sticking and sticking down to the bottom of the pot once they're done cooking and nicely drained. I also made this vinaigrette right here in the custard cups. It's just olive oil, white wine vinegar, salt and pepper, and just mix up with a fork. This will be just enough for one night salad. The meatloaf is almost done, as you can see in there. It's starting to get nicely browned on top. Alright, now this is just about perfect. Look at that nice golden brown cheese on top. Firm brown meat. You can see the cheese kind of oozing out just a bit. The black and stuff just excess cheese that kind of fell out on the sides. But then once you can see the cheese kind of oozing out and the juice is kind of oozing out, you know it's basically done. Get that cheese to the kind of color you want to see, and just take it out of the oven and let it rest for a couple of minutes to let everything settle down so that all the good stuff doesn't come rushing out just as soon as you cut it. Alright, now we're going to cut it right into it. It's rested up a couple of minutes outside of the heat. And look at that. Ooey gooey, rich and chewy. Got a nice cheese, it's salami right up and in that meat. Extremely flavorful, I can smell it right now, I assure you. Okay, so as for serving, once again, we got the macaroni and we got the lightly dressed salad here. It's pretty versatile. You could serve this with peas, you could serve this with carrots, you can serve whatever vegetables you want. Starch or no starch, whatever you like. Like I said, it's very versatile. Just remember to include your binders with your meat, meatloaf mix or freshly ground, whatever you've got, whatever's available to you. Keep it with your binders, your breadcrumbs, your egg, a little bit of milk. Season it up with some tomato product and whatever herbs and spices you like. 375 degrees in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. First covered to get it cooked, then uncovered to get the top nice and crispy. You have yourselves a fantastic meatloaf dinner. So, I'm going to get started. I'll see you guys next time on Sprucey Kitchen.